How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether price is going up or down. Coinbase has suspended 6 crypto assets in September. They had a memo that mentioned 6 tokens, which will include Barn Bridge, Devira DAO, Jupiter, Multichain, Oki, and Voyager. They said that this will take effect starting September 7th, about 2 weeks from now, and that they're committed to maintaining high quality standards associated with the assets they list, and these coins did not meet those standards. So, not too much more there. Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers granted unlimited prison visits. A federal judge has allowed Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers to take unlimited advantage of the legal visitation hours at the Metropolitan Detention Center. The approval comes after the Department of Justice requested certain modifications to his accommodations. In addition to the visitation rights, Bankman-Fried will also have frequent computer access, enabling him to review discovering materials that could be used for his defense or possibly more witness tampering. So we'll have to hope that doesn't happen. Over on the total, we are taking a little bit of a rejection from that resistance area, hitting the bottom of our support again, trying to weaken both sides, so we're kind of sandwiched in between, but we're sticking toward this lower half. RSI is starting to point down, our stochastic looks a little weak, like it could roll over. The VWAP is in an uptrend, but starting to kind of roll away here. Our money flow is starting a bearish trend and breaking away from the neutral, so if the next candle is red, we could get a breakdown and a push out. If we manage to get some bullish momentum here though, we could see a volatile move back up and get sucked toward that golden pocket zone. So keep that in mind. Over on Bitcoin dominance, let's zoom out, get that volume profile. Volume profile is way down there. It doesn't do us much good. Could make a local one if we wanted, but we did try to get a little bit of a bearish engulfing candle. We did not succeed with that. We got pretty close. We are trying to pump up, not very strong though. We haven't really gone anywhere today for dominance, so no one's really bought or sold much. RSI is kind of slipping, stochastic could bend. Our VWAP is heading toward that neutral, and the money flow is trying to come up toward that neutral area as well. So if our money flow doesn't break through that neutral, we could get a rejection, and our VWAP could fall through as well. However, if our VWAP and money flow are able to maintain some bullish strength from here, we could trend toward this resistance area and try to fill this kind of open area, that gap we have. Over on our Bitcoin futures here, RSI is going kind of flat, overall losing strength as we trend sideways. Stochastic is trying to head up, our VWAP's pretty flat, and that money flow is trying to come up toward that resistance at that neutral. So if our VWAP can get some strength and the money flow can pick up through that neutral, we could get a pick up and fill our gap here. However, if we fall flat here, we could end up getting sucked back down and rejected. Over on Bitcoin, we do have a possibility of a tweezer top to form here, so that could be a warning sign for us to break down. Our RSI is heading down, stochastic's running up, our VWAP wants to head up, our money flow is trying to come out though, and our momentum is trying to come up, so we have a little indecision here. The VWAP is in a slight uptrend, but it's starting to lose steam, and the money flow is starting to come out, so those are some worrisome indicators. Over on the 4 hour to see if these continue. Remember, you want to see the lower time frames to see how they will support the higher time frames. Don't just look at one time frame. Our stochastic's overall bending out and falling. Our RSI is overall trending out. We are going kind of flat here as we try to maintain above our support level. Our VWAP is trying to get a little curl here. We are trying to get some bullish momentum, but don't get too excited. If we just roll back over and set a new low, we could create a bearish trend here. That money flow is starting to get lower lows and trying to trend lower, so keep an eye on that. If that continues, we could get a push down. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is trying to push up very slightly, but not very strong. That stochastic has a bullish cross, but it is in that bearish territory, so if it doesn't pick up with some strength, that RSI could start to fall flat. That's why it's starting to curl, and we could see both things fall and get sucked down. That money flow is struggling to get through that neutral and maintain any kind of bullish momentum. So if we start to get lower lows, we could start a bearish trend and see another leg down. That momentum is coming out. It does want to get a bit of a curl as our VWAP's trying to come up through that neutral, so keep an eye on the VWAP. If that VWAP can break through and stay bullish strongly, then we may be able to get a bit of a move up. Oop, I did not mean to do that. However, if that VWAP rolls away from here and that money flow continues down, we could be in for some more rejection. Over on the 1 hour, we are starting to roll away. Stochastic's starting to roll off. Our VWAP's starting to taper off, and our money flow is starting to head toward that neutral. So watch the next hourly candles. If we get more red candles, we could start that bearish trend, and this could be what kicks us off. If the 1 hour kind of keeps zigzagging around like this, that could create indecision in the higher time frames. However, if we manage to maintain a zone, then we could suck the other time frames down, especially since they're already in the red. Hit this thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It'll make sure that you're able to see our content every day, as well as join our Discord link down in the paragraph below. There's a big block of links for you to view, and the Discord is the one you should be clicking if you want to join the community. But we are starting to push away with our RSI. Stochastic is trying to run up, so we do have a possibility that we could push forward from here, but if we get further red candles, then we're likely going to break down. Over on graph for the daily, we are going kind of making some sort of a triangle. Might make a symmetrical triangle, which could be a breakdown or a break up. As you know, they're 50-50. It could also be a bear pendant, which uses a symmetrical triangle. Our RSI is starting to curl away. Our stochastic's getting pretty tight. Doesn't really want to gain much more momentum. So if our stochastic starts to push away, our RSI is going to lose strength. That VWAP is struggling to get new highs and get a bullish trend going, so if our VWAP rolls over here, we could see some further bearish action. That money flow is starting to reject away from the neutral and set up lower lows, so if we continue downwards from here, we could be in for another leg down. Over on the 4 hour, we have a manipulation next here that wants to bring us down after that reversal arrow kicked us off to fall. That stochastic had a bearish divergence that helped bring us down as well, and the RSI is overall falling. The momentum does have a red dot and is curling down pretty aggressively, almost through that neutral zone. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory and heading down kind of sharp, and the money flow is maintaining a bearish trend with lower lows and lower highs. So overall, we have bearish indicators here that could kick off a downtrend, so keep an eye for them. Over on the 2 hour, money flow is maintaining a bearish trend. Stochastic is just spilling out. That RSI is starting to come out. That momentum is all the way in the bearish territory, and that VWAP is maintaining bearish strength, but it's kind of meeting some resistance. So if that VWAP can carry up, we could get a bounce from here. However, if the VWAP rejects away, we could see our price action get sucked even further down. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is overall losing strength. Our stochastic struggling to have any strength as well. That VWAP is trying to break through that neutral, but it's not really getting much strength. You can see right here, it got a bit of a rejection and it's starting to come down. The money flow is doing about the same. We had a couple points where we tried to go bullish and we haven't managed to maintain. That money flow is trying to head up right now, so if we can break through the bullish side with both of these, we could kick a bullish trend off. However, if we get rejected, we're likely going to see more downside. That momentum is coming out, but if that VWAP can get through, that momentum will be a green dot to kick that up as well. Over on Anchor for the daily, we do still have these lower wicks, so keep that in mind. RSI is starting to curl off. Stochastic starting to curl off, RSI is starting to lose strength. The VWAP is overall getting lower highs, starting to lose some of that steam, so our VWAP could push into bearish territory if that maintains. The money flow is touching that neutral, starting to break through, so if we get a red candle tomorrow, we could start a bearish trend. This could be a little double top that could kick us down. That momentum is trying to come up, but if that VWAP continues to struggle, then that momentum is likely to roll over. Over on the 4 hour, we have a reversal arrow here that our manipulation X after a reversal arrow. I'm just all over, I guess, today. That does want to bring us down, so that could add confluence to that double top possibility. As stochastic is starting to push lower, RSI is starting to arch out, that momentum is starting to come down, and the VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory. Our money flow is getting a bit of a new low as it gets lower highs, so we are starting a new bearish trend here as well. So much like everything else, we could see further downside if this maintains. Over on the 2 hour, we have a manipulation X that's bringing us lower. RSI is curling out, that stochastic's falling, that momentum is coming out very sharply. That VWAP does want to gain some bullish trajectory, so if the VWAP can manage to break through, we could get a push up. But if that VWAP fails to break through this resistance, we could get rejected back down and see another leg down. The money flow is coming out very sharply, so I would keep that in mind as well. Over on the 1 hour, we do not have, we have a little bit of a gap, but that filled. We have no higher gaps. We currently filled this gap right here, so algo hasn't left us with any more gaps to look forward to tonight. You know how, got a little bit of one there if you zoom in real close, and maybe one right there. So we do have those possibilities to fill, and then get a rejection would start a bearish trend. Our RSI is overall falling. Our stochastic is trying to push up. That VWAP is struggling to maintain any strength above that neutral, and that money flow is coming out. The momentum does have a double green dot as that VWAP wants to push bullish, but that momentum could struggle and just ride out this zone if that VWAP falls flat. Over on XRP for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a comeback down to this kind of volume node area. We do have these green candles, but we are also setting about just as many red candles, so that's not too good for us, and we could create a bear flag if we're not careful. As stochastic's starting to roll off, our RSI is starting to roll off, the VWAP is starting to get slightly lower highs, so we could end up with a bearish trend if that continues, and we could get sucked back through that neutral. The money flow is starting to head away, so we're not really getting any bullish pushes up. That momentum is trying to come up kind of more sharply than you'd expect for the VWAP being so flat. But if that VWAP starts to fall over, then that momentum's likely to come back down and roll over. Over on the 4 hour, very similar here, where we have that reversal arrow followed by a manipulation X that's bringing us down. As stochastic is falling, trying to get a little bit of a curl here, so that could try to save us. Our RSI is going pretty flat. That momentum is in the bearish territory as our VWAP fell pretty strong. Our VWAP is trying to get a little bit of a round up, but we are kind of at a resistance area. So if we don't break through here and continue forward, we could roll over and start a bearish trend. And money flow is getting lower lows, so overall there is more sell pressure. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a manipulation X bringing us down after we had a green dot that failed to bring us up. That RSI is starting to arch out, stochastic is overall falling. We are trying to get a little bit of a bullish bounce, but it looks like it could start to curl away as it's starting to kind of try to bend. And money flow is struggling to maintain any bullish momentum, but it's also struggling to maintain bearish momentum, so it's not too sure where we want to go right now. So we could kind of meet this support level. 50 cents was a big zone for XRP. For anyone who's just tuning in, You have this big channel, this channel, and there's probably more if you go back. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but just to drive that point. Our momentum is trying to come up, that VWAP is trying to head through that neutral, so if the VWAP can gain bullish momentum and the stochastic can get some strength, we may see the money flow make a bounce and we could get some bullish trajectory. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a little bit of a round here, so we could set up some sort of rounded bottom that would be able to help push us up. If we came back down, we'd set up a candle, obviously. Our stochastic is running up, our RSI is getting higher highs, VWAP's getting higher highs, the money flow is in the bullish territory but starting to come down, so I would keep an eye on that. If it comes back down, breaks bearish, we could be in for a downswing as bullish momentum wasn't able to be sustained. However, if we get a bounce off here, we could continue forward if we manage to maintain the green money flow and people keep buying. The momentum does want to come up, but the VWAP's starting to taper off, so I would keep an eye on that, just like that money flow. So if the VWAP and money flow break bearish, that momentum's likely going to have a red dot and we get pushed away. However, if we get that bounce, that could be good for us. Finally, for Algo, last coin for tonight, RSI is starting to point down, stochastics overall arching out. That VWAP is above that neutral, so we have slight bullish momentum, but it's not too strong. That money flow is starting to arch away and start lower lows, so we could be in for a downtrend. The momentum does have a bullish divergence, but if the money flow keeps coming out, that may not play out. Over on the 4 hour, we have a manipulation X that wants to bring us down, but we're trying to bounce despite it. We do have 2 long lower shadow candles though, so if we don't get a strong green bullish candle, we could get a rejection. Kind of like how you had that long lower shadow candle, didn't get a strong green candle, and then we spilled over. Momentum's coming down. It does want to kind of curl here as our VWAP's trying to come back up. So if our VWAP can gain some strength, our momentum may maintain bullish strength, and we could see that try to push us forward. Our money flow is pretty flat, but overall gaining bearish strength, so it's a little wishy-washy at best. Over on the 2 hour, don't have any gaps. RSI is overall losing strength. That stochastic's pretty beat down, but trying to run back up. Our money flow does want to make a push through that neutral. We did get rejected a couple times before, and we weren't able to maintain bullish strength. So it'll be important if we can cross over and gain some strength. Otherwise, if we reject away and make a new low, we could start with a bearish trend. The momentum does want to come up with a green dot as our VWAP's trying to push through. So if the VWAP manages to maintain some strength, that could help propel us forward. However, if the VWAP flops here, we could get rejected. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic's trying to run rampant. RSI is trying to head up, but it's trying to lose steam. At VWAP's getting higher highs. Our money flow did break into the bullish territory, so that's slightly good for us, but it doesn't look too strong, and it's meeting resistance at this 3 level, where it's been rejected a couple times before. That momentum could start to curl off as our VWAP's starting to curl, so I would keep an eye on the next couple candles for sure. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.